Home sweet home. I'm sitting out by the pool and, oh yeah, I was just checking that I had the leg far enough in so I didn't end up in the drink. But this is the backyard of our pool. It's really pretty out here and it's so cool. It's really nice and cool, especially when it's been such a long, hot day. No, this is not hot compared to where we've been, but it's been really nice to be home and just sit around and clean up the leaves around the pool and have a think about hopping in and just doing clean-up jobs, emptying the fridge out and doing all those odds and sods jobs. But I thought I'd come in tonight because I thought, as soon as you're back from holidays, you're back into it and you're back working really hard again. It doesn't take long. Hey, Johnny Lassieri, how are you doing? Check out the pool. See, needs some work. When you come home from holidays and you're back into it, you're back into that swing, you're back into driving your teams, you're back into working hard, or you're back into going to work the 9-to-5 job if that's what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. It's just, you're back into it and you suddenly have that breather and you go, oh, did I actually go on holidays or is it over or what's happened? But I ask you, no matter what job you're in, no matter where you're at, you're a leader in some form. Whether you're in a desk jockey, you're doing that work, or whether you are in Coles, you're still doing a job that's responsible, and you've still got to lead either people through a checkout or you've got to lead someone somewhere. You've still got to do your best job to make sure your job works. That's simple as that. We all either can get fired or we can get paid or we can, whatever we do, we've got to make sure our job works because we need it to work. We need it to work because we need to have an income so that we can pay the bills. Touche. We've all got bills, every one of us. I used to think I never had many bills, but I still had bills. I still had to pay my pen rent for the boat. It was still a bill, still had to come in. I didn't have a lot of bills, but it was still a bill that I had to worry about. And even when I didn't have a lot of money, that bill was huge for me. It was $480 a month. And it was still huge for me. But, today it's not so bad, but it was still a stress when I didn't have any money. So it doesn't matter where you're in the Richter, it just doesn't matter. But what I'm going to ask you is that, when you are in, no matter which job you're in, you've all got leadership. You've all got to have leadership and what does it take to be a good leader and how many hours a week do you have to work on leadership? If you're asking me how many hours a week do I spend doing leadership, I'd probably spend, a good 10 or 12 hours a day. What do? I do my research. I'm looking for new ways. I'm looking for people that inspire me. I'm looking for my own team to look at how I can empower them to be better. Or how can I teach them? Or is there a new little trick that I've got up my sleeve that they don't know? I'm always looking for something. And that comes into part of my leadership. That comes into part of what I need to do to be a good leader. So leadership is not something that you do and say, oh, woke up this morning, man, I'm such a great leader. I'm a good leader. It doesn't happen that way. What happens is that you need to do your work. You need to do your research. You need to do, who are you? You need to work on how you communicate your leadership down. You need to be there and be present. You need to, if you've set an example, then you need to follow it up. If you've said to your team that you need to them all to do lives, you need to lead by example. You need to do your own lives. You need to do your own leadership. You need to, no different than if you're working in Coles cafeteria. You would have to, if you're in a restaurant, you'd have to, if I was in a restaurant, let's tell me this one. So I've had many restaurants, so I've been in restaurants all my life. So if I was wanting to get table 15 cleared, and I wanted to go out there and I wanted to say them to the waitresses, right, go and clear table 15. If they didn't know how to pick up plates, how were they going to go and pick up plates? Were they going to go and pick up plates 1 plate at a time, 2 plates at a time, and then they would have brought them back to the kitchen? And I'd have done my nana and said, hey, you don't know your stuff. You need to be able to carry 3 plates to work in a restaurant. How do they ever learn to carry 3 plates if you don't carry 3 plates in front of them? Or you don't teach them how to carry 3 plates? no matter what business you're in, you need to lead by example. You need to go to work and you need to show your leadership all the time. You cannot just sit back and expect people to follow you and you to be a leader if you aren't doing the work yourself. It's a false leadership, and I promise you it will only be a leadership that will last 1 month, 2 months, a year maybe if you're good, but it will fall over. It will fall over. If you want people to follow you for a lifetime, or you want people to follow you because it's your legacy and you believe in it, and you want other people to believe in it, you've got to set an example, and you've got to go to work, and you've got to do the work, and you've got to get up in the morning and say, right, today I'm going to inspire others. What am I going to do today to make a difference to other people? How am I going to inspire the team or my people that walk through the cashier at Coles? How am I going to inspire them to come back tomorrow and buy their groceries from me tomorrow? How am I going to inspire those people to come back to my restaurant tomorrow? No matter what business you're in. No matter what business you're in, it all comes back to how much you've got to work in it, how much you do in it, how much you put your heart and soul in it. There are many leaders out there that think they can get away without doing very much at all. Many leaders. And watch me. Watch. They will fall over. Absolutely. There is no hope they will fall over at some point. Leadership is about learning. It's about going to work. It's about learning a language of your own and inspiring others. It's about doing some hard yards first and then sharing it down. Duplicating. It's all about duplicating. If you want leadership, you've got to find a way to duplicate. And you can't duplicate unless you do the work first. Just a thought for you today. Just a thought while I'm sitting around the pool thinking, what am I going to teach tomorrow? What am I going to teach tomorrow? Today I taught them to, life goes up and down. You can't always be doing this. You've got to be doing this. You've got to be doing this. Because only when you do this, you'll realize how good it is at the top and that life keeps traveling. It doesn't just go from here to here. Nothing ever does. It only ever goes in a gradual pace. And your life changes in a gradual way. When I started a business, I, had very little. And today, our business is really well. But it didn't start that way. It only started because I went to work. It starts the same as your business will start, by how you go to work today. See you later, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you in Power Hour tomorrow.